Hey, everybody. World! Might have to push that button. Anyways, thought I'd hit the camera. Took a few notes. It's not fun being that way in a sense, and I see a whole lot of let go because I'm lazy that way sometimes. Not really. So anyways, I seen where Zero Day is a Netflix new series. I haven't watched it yet. Heard a little about it, and I look forward to seeing that, what they do with it. Yeah, another day where really the world, via the current administration of the United States of America and company, which by and company means we're compromised, we are in line with Nazism and rolling with Yaldabaoth energy right from our top. Fake top. Yeah, you would think at this point in time, the year 2025, we would be past knowing what's truth and not, and if that's even important or not. You'd think so. But anyways, causes me to have to do stuff like this. But that's okay. I like it. In a sense, I really better things to do, but I feel like I'm doing what I should at the moment. That's all we can ask for ourselves, right? So, yesterday I caught a glimpse of this Brandon Gill. I think he's a Republican from Texas. And it said beside his name that he's the Oversight Doge Subcommittee. But anyways, the way his interview went, it was, he started out just, lie, lie, lie. And luckily the moderator, he just, well, we all know that's not the case, and kind of copped him. So he said the next lie, and he did it again like 2 or 3 times. And so Mr. Brandon Gill there said, "Are you going to let me talk?" So in other words, he hadn't said anything truthful out of his mouth yet, and he had to keep getting fact checked. So he let him lie, 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 go on a little longer. And as we heard what he wanted to say, because he let him, and it was so reverse of what's logical, and he said the United States bureaucracy is illogical after his own illogical lies that had to get fact checked. His main point was the bureaucracy is illogical. Anyways, and he looked bad, acted bad, not really a good interview for himself. Just gotta say. And if you don't be this way, especially while we're under attack and they sold off America to a certain bidder, and it's time to just, those who know some truth is going to lay it out, and if it don't feel right, yeah, well, can't help that. Then this morning, Mike Lawler, a Republican from New York, he just spins some stuff and says the common, blame Biden for some things. It's going to take a while to fix Biden's problem. Well, he did say day one, yeah, here we are. Everything's going worse, but it's fixing Biden stuff. It's just illogical to me in that way. But his big kick was he's had a problem with regulations. We don't need these regulations. We don't need regulations. All right. Before, regulations, building codes started to help people living in a current uninsulated house that has issues because of that. Had it been built just a few years later, when the city was formed, and actually a government building, our little building in Springfield here. Some point after that, started regulating and having codes so that things would go better and not worse. Things could be more regulated. Regulation helped there. Take a car, for example. There's different air regulators. There's regulators for fuel. There's regulators for the voltage from the battery to all the other electrical components. Regulation's pretty important. Federal FFA has regulations, and when they want to inspect something because freaking rockets are blowing up over top of the earth, and there's reasons for regulations, safety inspections, in all categories. It's frustrating. If population's growing in the world because some people are causing wars everywhere around, Sackless Yaldabaoth of Demiurge, then population's growing anyhow and changing, and the main ones opposing it are the prejudiced bigots and those afraid that the race is going to get washed away. That's a you problem. That's an internal problem within yourself, not something to come fix in the world and start murdering others like Nazism style. For real. Yeah, the National Electric Code book. Regulations. There's good reasons for it. Really good reasons, from advancements of anything and everything. All right, then I saw a Jeff and a John, and I don't have anything bad to say about any of these, but Jeff, he's some kind of host on a radio show in Iowa, and when he was really asked, well, how do you really feel? And he still had a positive outlook on waiting to see how Trump does. And, he said with these tax cuts and tariffs, I mean, he seems like a nice guy, other than for some reason I have to say, well, he is a Trump voter, but that could be in the wiring, could be in a lack of information. I'm not judging other than what I saw, but so what he did say is tax cuts and tariffs. So let's say tax cuts. I hate to tell you, Jeff, but the tax cuts are favoring those billionaires. He did it the last time he in 2017, he made a lot off taxes, as I understand it. This kind of stuff he's doing now, volatile markets, can people who manipulate them and then make money off them. You can make money while it falls and goes up, and you can know what kind of news makes it fall and goes up. Like a big bully baby. And of course, John, he's a radio show host. I didn't write down where, but he's more on the liberal side, and so they do that hosting, and they also podcast, I think, have callers or whatever, call-ins. So anyways, he agreed with with Jeff. John agreed with Jeff because anyone, if there's really waste and stuff, you want to cut it out. If it's fraud, then arrest the fraudulent ones, okay? Arrest those fraudulent men who are criminals. That'd be a good idea. Helpful or harmful? Lock 'em up! Anyways, then I saw Donald Trump just a moment ago. I don't know if I heard it all, but geez. Donald says that we have way too many people in the government, way too many people working there. Of course, he's cutting, I don't know how many thousands of jobs now. Cutting jobs. Let's keep this in mind because that's important based on the rest of his speech. Cutting jobs. So, as he's cutting all these jobs, well, he'll say it's waste and fraud and abuse, and the government's too big, and throw around terms like, bureaucracy is illogical. Anyhow, I'll try to bring it back here. Yeah, with this too many people, it just, he didn't think jobs are very important, like park rangers. The list goes on and on. Those who take care of our, look over disease and, center disease control, and so many other things that are very important. Those who take care of our water systems everywhere is very important, more important than most people probably realize, since we're under an assault by a Nazism-style administration. Hi, old Donald or Elon. Yeah. Vladimir Putin. Yeah. And you sackless Republicans that just couldn't find a way to muster up the nuts to, this is not looking good. We'll see. So he's been implementing, we've been suffering under Yaldabaoth's bully tactics, trying to scare everybody, but he's really smoking mirrors while someone's gutting down our government and getting the information they need. They don't want regulations because the rockets are blowing up over top of the earth. And evil men that hold most of the money then become, a real danger on what's on their mind, So Mr. Jeff, who thinks you're just waiting to see how these tax cuts and tariffs go, it's as deep as you go on it, because we're seeing an alignment with Putin for sure right now. Yeah, because and to hear Donald talk, and this is common, I've lived it to a big extent at times, but to hear Donald talk, he creates the problems so he can give you something, make it feel like he's the one giving. He leverages everything. And it's a requirement that he's obeyed, and gets his way one way or the other, or he'll leverage things and do things in ways that would shock some people. So it's got all these bully tactics, a lot of people warned that this would be. I'm just surprised how many, it seems, still don't understand and put some kind of trust in this stuff. So anyways, because he prided himself and said it in a way that lifted himself up so I gave the auto workers back, just because, I wanted to be kind. The kindness of my heart, I took the tariffs off of the auto workers from us in Mexico. Thank you, Donald. He giveth, and he giveth, and he giveth again. Yeah. He's so kind. And he did it, and he was trying to be proud of this. Really, it's still lower than average job increase. And to hear him go on about how he's all concerned is all about jobs and he wants to create more jobs. That's when I was envisioning the park rangers and the people being let go by the thousands, really disrupting and trying to destabilize all of our government, all of our regulation for a country. Do you want a country to be regulated more evenly so we're not flip-flopping in the world of, are we going to be Nazis or something our Constitution has instituted so we could live free and vote on what's right and wrong for our laws of the land, at least, not for our bodies. We are what we are. And so like a Yaldabaoth kind of king would step in and I want all the glory. You'll be serving me. Your eyes, knowledge helps with reason, are bound. The truth should set you free. But he giveth, and he giveth, and he giveth again. Because he took away. Oh, yeah, and he hates the CHIPS Act. He's taken that away. And multiple times he said, yeah, because of he mentioned, I wrote it down in the order that I kept hearing it. Let me see what it says. Yeah, he hated the CHIPS Acts because they go by race and gender and stuff. Race, and he repeated that 2 or 3 times. The race and gender is the issue, why he has closed out and hates the CHIPS Act. But he cares about jobs. He cares about money. Money's on his mind. You can't hear his speech and not know that he's got money on his mind. And that's it. And then some of the worst stuff, when he got to the idea of Ukraine, how disappointed he is in Ukraine. And he says, Russia's bombing the hell out of Ukraine. And I'm finding it more and more difficult. I didn't finish writing it, but it was difficult to put up with Ukraine, or however he worded it. Russia's bombing the hell out of Ukraine. And I'm finding it more difficult for Zelensky to deal with Zelensky. And amazing. So I hope all of you are honing in your binoculars a little bit more on, is he an asset of Russia? Is he? Is Elon a Russian too that's done all these things that we're talking about? Dooby-doo. Well, yep. All right. Turn the page. On a lost and lonely highway east of Omaha. Oh, yeah. I wrote down that Donald only cares about money. Oh yeah. Then he had this speech. Everything they do seems the truth is on the reversal of every lie that he tells, pretty much. And he's talking about who's kind. Like, you could see they weren't even kind people or whatever. Like Donald could recognize kind. You take office and you drive up the eggs and make problems worse and all the groceries. It ain't just the eggs, so you can't say it's just that disease. Everything has gone up, and the things that went down were in things that should be up. So, yeah. So that's not very kind. How you're treating, how you're treating people in those ways. And oh, who's the? You gotta get in the right pitch. Who's the manager of your life? And is the manager treating you right? May every individual on earth realize what we truly are worth. Yeah, and it is like some reverse hypnosis for people, I think. I can only imagine. So I got to give it out in doses. Yeah, you can't watch all this and know what you see in right now. And if you've heard my other talks, I don't know, where's your credence level at? Is Donald a Putin asset? Yeah, put it up there. He's pegging as high as it's in the 90s for me. And then Donald said in his speech, "We're in the final moments. Final moments." Of course, and then he had switched it to Iran. But yeah, he's in the middle of an attack, and I hope we see it in time. That's my concepts. I'm just one individual. Just my opinion. Thankful that I still got freedom of speech so far. And what else? Thought of a lot of good stuff, little things to sing, but then this feels still important to me to point out, because there's none of them doing any better than the things I've said before. Different people, same thing, buffering. Sometimes they're trying to mix it up and go a little deeper or off subject or be more personable. And that's better than the old buffering the same stuff, but it's still buffering for the people who don't know what's going on. No matter how they're buffering, they're still buffering. And it's funny. It's funny what's going on. Whatever. Yeah. Interesting times. Yeah, if you're there's so many comparisons right now to what he's doing to the Aldebeth energy, the Old Testament God of the Bible. And there's so many of them. And I hope people see it. It's good lessons. Your old church and that wiring in you or whatever religion, it wants to keep you bound as if ashamed for whatever. No matter if you've done what they call a sin or not. I ain't done nothing. I'm nothing. Not that I may or may not or whatever. I'm not bound by that. Those things that got wrote up. And that's a beautiful spot to be. And so I'm trying to educate others at a great cost, because the people who are controlling others and want that need that. I'm on the pedestal. You do what I say. You create your own problems and then tell them to, No, not everyone who has his symptoms are that malicious and devil-like, but Donald does. Oh, let me tell you a story about a Donald John. I'll tell him every day to keep that diaper on. Well, you guys have a good one and have the best days you can until I talk to you later. Well, and beyond. I have no influence on whether. Have a good one. I'll shut up now.